my eye that the director was not looking at me, but was focused on his notes sitting on the table, that some of the producers were scratching their heads, maybe in confusion, and Bernie Telsey himself, the casting director, the man who had brought me into this audition, was looking down at his wrist and checking the time on his watch. It was a disaster. My instinct, right after I was done, was initially to leave the room. But, of course, I thought I would try to take control of this moment and proceeded to shake the hand of every person who was watching my audition. All 9 of them. And as I found myself at number 6, I realized that shaking all of their hands was not a very good idea. And for some odd reason, I decided to skip one of them and just waved at him and found that was rude, and so continued to shake the other 2 guys' hands right afterwards. Oh, wow. So I grabbed my bag and said thank you, and I ran out of the room. Okay, so what? Okay, it was my first major audition. You know, I still had about 2 weeks before I came to pre-grad to speak. There was plenty of time to get a job. After signing with my agents about a couple of weeks ago, I was sent out on 2 more auditions. The first one was for a new off-Broadway play by playwright Chuck Mee called Iphigenia 2.0, and the other was for an episode on the television show Law & Order CVU. Luckily, I was called back to both auditions, meaning that the casting directors were truly considering me for the role. After auditioning, it becomes a waiting game to see if you got the part. But in my case, I needed to know if I got the part now, before I got on a plane to speak at pre-grad. Because my goal at the time was to have a part in a show and be a professional actress by June 15th. And I was going to speak about the struggles of being an Asian American artist, but how it's worth it in the end, because look at me, I'm a working actress now. But in order for that to happen, my phone was to ring, and it didn't. I wanted my agent to say, "Christine, congratulations, you got your first job and you're on your way to becoming a star." And it never did. So, last Wednesday, just 2 days ago, the day before I got on a plane for California, I began to have a mini panic attack. Okay? I had an audition for an Olive Garden commercial that morning, and with no sleep the night before because I was stressed out about what I was going to do today at this moment, I was exhausted and had no energy whatsoever to say, "Well, here at Olive Garden, Mondays are good." As expected, I was not called back. I got angry and upset, and I decided to walk the streets of New York for 3 hours, wearing a brand new white buttoned-up shirt and khakis in the rain with no umbrella. Somehow, by the grace of God, my body found itself back at my apartment, where I continued the drama by walking in circles, doing about 20 laps, tears rolling down my face, yelling at my phone with some words like, "Ring, goddammit, my reputation is in your hands. These graduates deserve someone who is inspiring, someone they can look up to, someone who has made it in this world, and that cannot happen if you do not ring." Yet silence. Nothing. Suddenly, about 3 minutes later, my phone did ring. I felt goosebumps on my arms. Finally, thank God, a defining moment in my life had arrived, just in time. I picked up the phone. "Hello, this is Christine Corpuz." And on the other end, I could hear a man's voice preparing to speak. He spoke. "Inday, it's Dad. Did you get the part yet?" Disappointed, I said, "No, Dad, I didn't get the part yet, but I will see you in about a couple of days, okay?" And I hung up. And I decided to just take a nap with the hopes that something glorious, something wonderful would happen when I awoke. About 2 hours later, I woke up, and yeah, nothing happened. So, deciding to continue the ride on this disheartening, melancholic journey, I put on one of my favorite depressing singers, Rocky Votolato, because I wanted to stay in this dismal mood. Now, I've heard his album many times before and have basically memorized the words to all of his songs, but at this moment, a particular lyric shot out at me, and finally, it woke my ass up. It was, "Hard fought for some spare time to sit around and search for something I ain't never gonna find. And then it hit me. What I was going through in my life just a couple of days ago is actually exactly what you graduates need to hear. See, I had planned to inspire you with words like follow your dreams, believe in yourself, pursue your goals, make it happen, because I had expected to be in a stable and established place by now, where I would be able to say that to you. But I was wrong. The reality of the situation is that in order to really live life and survive in the real world, you don't just need a list of accomplishments or successes. You also need a strong list of struggles and failures that are just as valuable in order to get you to where you thrive to be. And on top of that, you must keep in mind that both lists will never dictate or even validate your true self. These are only records of what you've done or what you do, but they will never define who you are. So, 2 days ago, I humbly packed up my suitcase, held my ticket in my hand, and boarded the plane, with no huge role on a show lined up for me in the near future, but a huge passion, confident that the day will soon come. And in the meantime, what I will always have to give this world is my being and not my doing. So on that note, I realize that I actually do have some inspiring wishes I would like to leave with you. Number 1, fail. Fail big and fall so hard that it hurts. Number 2, struggle. Struggle with so much that you are faced with the truth of the situation that will definitely hurt. Number 3, have the fearlessness to disappoint. Never yourself, but what others may expect of you. Have so much fearlessness that you can proudly accept an invitation to speak as an inspiring example to your peers, to live up to the hype in yourself, even if you fail to recognize it at times. And still have the balls to get on a plane, fly back to your alma mater, even with no established work ahead of you, and be strong enough to share yourself with the world, even if it kind of hurts. By doing these things, I can also promise you this. Your climb back up will be much higher. The successes that you will soon have will be more meaningful and last longer. And the limbs and parts inside of you that you thought you hurt on your way will only become stronger and better equipped for the next time you decide to fall. So lastly, really this time, I would like to leave you with some words from rapper/poet Tupac Shakur. And I ask that you interpret these words in reference to life as you enter this new chapter in the real world. Hate to sound sleazy, but tease me. I don't want it if it's that easy. And now, bus it. Congratulations to the class of 2007, and may you also be so humble and lucky to have your life be screwed up and have to share it with the rest of the world too. Thank you, congratulations.
Thank you once again to Christine Corpuz for that inspirational speech, that not only inspirational to the graduates, but as an undergrad, I really enjoyed it. Thank you again.